Hello everyone, this is Bhavya. Today I am going to explain about amyloblastoma. Let us see. Before going into it, what does amyloblastoma mean? Every time, first we have to learn from the name and then we have to follow. Let us see. Amyloblastoma. Amyloma means tumor. Amyloblast. It means amyloblast like cells. Tumor in it is a tumor in amyloblast cell. Coming to the properties, amyloblastoma is a benign tumor, and it does not undergo metastasis because property of benign tumor is they do not undergo metastasis. They only show local invasion, and it is arised from the odontogenic epithelium. Hence, it is categorized in odontogenic tumors. In odontogenic tumors, there are three classifications. Tumors arising from the odontogenic epithelium without ectomesenchyme, and tumors arising from the odontogenic epithelium with the involvement of the ectomesenchyme. Tumors arising from the odontogenic epithelium with or without involvement of the ectomesenchyme. But amyloblastoma comes under the category of odontogenic epithelium. So it is called as the odontogenic tumor. First, it is discovered by the Malasis. He coined the term adamantinoma. It means that means hard tissue. But later, Russell changed the name into amyloblastoma. Why? Because there is no hard structure in the amyloblast. So it is changed into the amyloblastoma by the Russell. And it is the second most common odontogenic tumor after odontoma. First most common odontogenic tumor is odontoma. Later on, many cases are seen with the amyloblastoma. Excluding odontoma, the occurrence of amyloblastoma is equal to all other odontogenic tumors. It means that odontoma is the first most abundant, first most occurring tumor, and amyloblastoma is the second. If we compared all other tumors with the amyloblastoma, these are equally appeared in the clinical cases, excluding the odontoma. And coming to the definition, there are two definitions. One is given by the WHO and the one is given by the Robinson. First, we will see the WHO definition. WHO states that amyloblastoma is a true neoplasm of enamel organ type tissue which does not undergo differentiation to the point of enamel formation. It means that amyloblastoma is a true neoplasm, and the structure seen in these is similar to the resembling the enamel, and it is formed due to the it does not reach complete maturation of the enamel matrix, and it is the undeveloped part of the amyloblast. It means that amyloblast does not undergo to differentiate to form the enamel matrix. It is given by the WHO. And coming to the Robinson, amyloblastoma is described the tumor as usually functional, intermittent growth, anatomically benign, and clinically persistent. The tumor is unicystic. It means unicentric. And coming to it is a non-functional, but we can observe it in a clinically we will observe intermittent in growth. It means that it does not show continuous growth. It shows a discontinuous growth pattern, and it is anatomically benign. We already seen in previous slide. And coming to the types of amyloblastoma, these are three clinical types of amyloblastoma. These are multicystic amyloblastoma, unicystic amyloblastoma, and peripheral amyloblastoma. And coming to the from here we are focusing on the multicystic amyloblastoma. These all points for the multicystic amyloblastoma. Later on we will separate a unicystic amyloblastoma in separate heading. And coming to the etiopathogenesis of the amyloblastoma, it is common for the three types. Heckenhome and his co-workers suggested that amyloblastoma cells remain in developmental stages like cap or bell stages. It means that Heckenhemo suggested that amyloblastoma is formed due to the is due to undevelopmental stage of ameloblasts, and these resembles like the ameloblast cells which appear in Bell stage and Cap stage. And later on, Mallesis suggested that ameloblastoma arises from the remnants of the Hedwig's epithelial sheath. Mallesis stated that ameloblastoma arises from the remnants of Hedwig's sheath. It is also called as cell rest of Mallesis. Origin of ameloblastoma. Okay, ameloblastoma arises from the cell rests of dental organ. It means that if the cell rests are seen in Hedwig's epithelial root sheath, it is called cell rests of Mallesis. If these are seen in remnants are seen in the dental lamina, then these are called cell rests of Serres. And coming to the next point, from epithelium of odontogenic cysts, particularly dentigerous cysts and odontomas, there is a chances for the development of ameloblastoma from the dentigerous cyst or from the odontomas. Probability is there. And coming to the disturbances of developing enamel organ, if there is any disturbance in developmental stages of tooth, there is a chance for the formation of ameloblastoma. And basal cells of surface epithelium of jaws. If there is continuous stimulation to the basal cell, then it may transform into the ameloblastoma. And coming to the heterotrophic epithelium in other parts of the body, especially pituitary gland. If there is any tumor in the pituitary gland, it may lead to the formation of ameloblastoma. Pituitary gland shows that growth hormone, and it continuously stimulates the cells in the dental organ. It results in the formation of the ameloblastoma. It is as simple as that, pathogenesis. And coming to the differences between ameloblastoma and odontoma, it means that odontoma is the first most common odontogenic tumor and ameloblastoma is the second most common. We are seeing the difference between these two. And first, coming to the odontoma. First, we will state it from the name odontoma. Odontom means which forms the tooth. Oma means tumor. Tumor in the tooth related structures. And ameloblastoma. In previous slide, we have seen that the name from the name. And coming to the ameloblastoma, we have seen that ameloblastoma is a odontogenic epithelium without odontogenic ectomesenchyme interaction. But odontoma is the odontogenic epithelial tumor with odontogenic ectomesenchyme. It is the first main difference. And coming to the probability of occurrence of ameloblastoma and odontoma mainly occurring in the not exactly mainly, these two are mainly has chances to occur in any location of the jaw, but in most of the reported cases we seen that ameloblastoma mainly occurred in the mandible and odontoma is occurred in the maxilla. Both are opposite. Coming into the location of cases. And coming to the histology, in ameloblastoma, from the name only it states that it shows ameloblast like cells, and it means that it may form enamel without maturation or not up to the point of normal ameloblast cells laying enamel. But coming to the odontoma, it shows both it shows interaction with the ectomesenchyme. It is called it shows both the dentin and enamel formation. These are the main differences between the ameloblastoma and odontoma. In odontoma, we will see two types: simple, complex. Like after ameloblastoma, we will focus on that. And coming to the clinical features of ameloblastoma, there is no sex predilection. It means that ameloblastoma has same probability to occur in male and female, and the chances of occurrence from there is a probability from 10 to 90 years of age. In any stage, ameloblastoma can occur, but especially coming to the 20 to 60 years of age, we will see clinical cases. In that too, we will see in 30 to 40 years of age is the average age for the diagnosis of the ameloblastoma. And generally in children we will see least reported cases. These are up to 10%, and it is much less than these 10% in the children below the 10 years of age. Complaint. Why patient appears in clinical is due to these reasons. These named as complaints of the patient. These are slow growing. The tumor will grow slowly. In previous slide, we have seen that it shows the intermittent growth, right? So it is also related here, slow growing, and it means it shows the discontinuous growth pattern, and it is painless. So many people won't come early to the dentist or to the clinician. Why? Because it is painless, they will take it as easy, and later on it leads to facial asymmetry. It is the reason why they are appearing for the diagnosis, and it is the bony hard swelling in clinically. It results in the formation of facial asymmetry, and large lesions may present with mobile teeth, pain, and paresthesia. It is the clinical appearance of the ameloblastoma. Due to the slow growing and bony hard smelling, the face becomes the asymmetry. Ameloblastoma occur in any part of the jaw, but mandible is more commonly affected. Almost 80% reported cases are occurred in the mandible. In that too, molar angle ramus area is involved three times more compared to the combination of premolars and anterior region. It means that molar angle ramus is the most involved part, and it is 3 times more than the both combined combination of both premolars and molar and anterior region. And coming to the radiographic features, we will see ameloblastoma as a multilocular cyst-like lesion of the jaw exhibiting a soap bubble appearance, especially seen in advanced cases of ameloblastoma. Soap bubble-like appearance is seen in the ameloblastoma radiographs. And we also see that displacement of the third molar is seen in some cases. In contrast to ameloblastoma, desmoplastic ameloblastoma is confined to the anterior to molars. It is the contrast between conventional ameloblastoma and desmoplastic ameloblastoma. And here is the radiographic feature of ameloblastoma. In left side, we are seeing that the radiolucent part from the third molar to the coronoid process. Clearly observe it. Okay, coming to the histological features. There are 6 subtypes of ameloblastoma. These are follicular type, plexiform type, acanthomatous type, granular type, basal cell type, and desmoplastic type. And we will see these every subtype clearly. First, going into the each one, first we have to observe the generalized histological characters of these 6 subtypes. These shows that for follicular or any type of histological type, we will see these conditions. These are reversal of polarity, hyperchromatic nuclei, palisading pattern of cells. Reversal of polarity means that generally in ameloblast cells, the nuclei is towards the basement membrane, but in the case of these ameloblastoma, the nucleus is shifting away from the basement membrane, and it is shows hyperchromatic nuclei, palisading pattern of cells. Due to the appearance of cells shows reversal of polarity. Each and every cell arranged in such a pattern, the nucleus is away from the basement membrane, these representing the palisading pattern. And coming to the second point, subnuclear vacuole is seen between basement membrane and nucleus. Nucleus is pushed towards the periphery, and there is a subvacuolar space between the nucleus and basement membrane. In normal cases, ameloblast cells induces dentin formation, and later on predentin is laid down, and these laid down dentin induces the ameloblast cells to produce enamel matrix. But in these ameloblastoma, what happens is that the ameloblast cell beneath the basement membrane of the ameloblast, the ectomesenchyme shows fibroblasts in general condition. But in the case of these ameloblastoma, these fibroblast cells are not, the zone beneath the basement membrane is devoid of fibroblasts, and this zone is called zone of hyalinization. Due to the lack of these ectomesenchyme, there is no formation of dentin, or there is no inducive effect of dentin on enamel. So there is no complete maturation of the enamel. And coming to the follicular type, it is the most commonly encountered variant. It means that it is the most clinically appeared subtype in the ameloblastoma, and it shows discrete islands of tumors with peripheral layer of cuboidal or columnar cells, and nuclei is well polarized. These are seen in generalized character, and ameloblast like cells are seen, and stellate reticulum like cells are present in between them. It means that if we have taken one island or one tumor, it states that peripheral cells are either cuboidal or columnar, and the nuclei is well polarized. These cells are considered as ameloblast like cells, and between these ameloblast cells we will see the stellate reticulum like cells. It is the histological diagram of follicular type. Each island shows that peripheral staining nuclei, ameloblast, and in between these ameloblast cells we will see the stellate reticulum. And coming to the second one, plexiform ameloblastoma. Ameloblast like cells, it is the same as that of plexiform is same as that of the follicular type, but the difference is that these are irregular masses, and these are arranged in the form of network interconnecting strands of cells, and columnar cells line these masses. Sometimes we will see that either normally we will see the single layer of rows of columnar cell, but in some cases we will see the double layer of columnar cell. And stellate reticulum is also present, but these are not much prominent when compared to the follicular type. And coming to the acanthomatous ameloblastoma, stellate reticulum undergoes squamous metaplasia. It means that the cells, the epithelium of this stellate reticulum is converted into the squamous type. There will be transformation of the epithelium, and sometimes keratin formation is also seen in the center. Sometimes it mesenchymal squamous cell carcinoma and hybrid ameloblastoma. It means that we may confuse acanthomatous ameloblastoma with squamous cell carcinoma and as a hybrid ameloblastoma. Hybrid ameloblastoma means that it is a combination of follicular and desmoplastic ameloblastoma. Acanthomatous ameloblastoma shows that epithelial or keratin pearls in some cases. And it is the diagram of plexiform type histological diagram. In the left side we are seeing that interconnecting strands and the network of the islands, irregular mass of the islands. And coming to the acanthomatous type, we are seeing that in acanthomatous type the stellate reticulum shows the squamous metaplasia, and the keratin pearls are seen in the right side. Clearly observe it in. Coming to the basal cell type of ameloblastoma, it resembles the basal cell carcinoma of the skin. We may confuse with the basal cell carcinoma, and it is the rare type of ameloblastoma. The name states that basal cell. It means that the ameloblastoma arises from the basal cell layer. In etiopathogenesis, we are seeing that the formation of ameloblastoma is from the basal cell. And coming to the desmoplastic ameloblastoma. In desmoplastic ameloblastoma, the connective tissue is pushed into the epithelium. Hence, the epithelium appears as squeezed and fragmented by the connective tissue. And these appear in the form of thin strands of epithelium stretched out in kite tail like appearance. In desmoplastic type, we will see the reversal polarity and subnuclear vacuole, but these may be difficult to recognize. These are present, but it is difficult to identify. These are the histological types of basal cell. Observe that in this connective tissue is pushed into the epithelium, and there is the squeezed like appearance and the fragmentation of epithelium. And coming to the granular cell ameloblastoma, it is also a rare type of ameloblastoma. In these, the stellate reticulum will show coarse granular eosinophilic appearance, and these often extend into the columnar or cuboidal cells. We know that in periphery, ameloblastoma cells show that columnar or cuboidal cells, and these stellate reticulum in granular cell type is pushed into the peripheral layer. And in microscopically, sometimes we will see the lysosomal aggregates. These lysosomal aggregates are seen due to the inadequate function of the lysosomal enzymes and failure of the lysosome endosome system. And in these stage, the maturation stage in ameloblastoma life cycle, that is, it is present between the stellate reticulum epithelium presence and the cystic degeneration of the stellate reticulum. In between these, we will see the maturative stage, and it is the only type we are observing the maturative stage in ameloblastoma life cycle, and it is more aggressive lesion and shows recurrence if not properly removed. Maximum tumors will show recurrence if not completely excised, and it shows metastasis. Actually, ameloblastoma won't show metastasis because it is a benign tumor, but in some cases like granular type, we will see the metastasis. And it is the histological diagram of granular type. We are observing the eosinophilic arrangement of appearance of stellate reticulum. And coming to the unicystic ameloblastoma. In previous slide, I forgot to inform about the intraosseous ameloblastoma. All the like multicystic ameloblastoma and unicystic ameloblastoma are the intraosseous ameloblastoma, whereas peripheral ameloblastoma is the extraosseous. It means that it is appearance is seen in outside the tooth structure. That means soft tissues, gingiva, like that. And coming to the unicystic ameloblastoma, it is the second and far less frequent growth pattern seen in the intraosseous ameloblastoma. Maximum cases we will see the multicystic ameloblastoma in intraosseous case, but in the second as it is as a second frequent appearance, and it is seen in impacted tooth, and most commonly it is diagnosed in dentigerous cyst. In etiopathogenesis, we have seen that from the epithelium of dentigerous cyst, ameloblastoma may appear. It is the etiopathogenesis for unicystic ameloblastoma. Histological characters of unicystic ameloblastoma. Coming to the epithelium of dentigerous cyst shows alterations, and these may progress into the early stage of ameloblastoma, and this is given by the Gorlin and Vickers. Types. These are three types: luminal type and intraluminal and mural unicystic ameloblastoma. And coming to the luminal unicystic ameloblastoma, the tumor is confined to luminal surface of the cyst only. Only it confined to the lumen surface. When it come to the intraluminal, proliferation of epithelium into the lumen in most cases. Like it also resembles the plexiform type of ameloblastoma. Hence it is called as the plexiform unicystic ameloblastoma. Mural unicystic ameloblastoma, invasive islands of ameloblastomatous epithelium isolated in connective tissue wall. It is the mural type, and the recurrence is seen in rare conditions. In last, we will see about the treatment and prognosis. It is the radiographic and histological representation of the unicystic ameloblastoma. Observe the unilocular radiolucency of the unicystic ameloblastoma in molar region. and the histological features on left side. Histological features of unicystic ameloblastoma. And coming to the peripheral ameloblastoma. Peripheral ameloblastoma is the extraosseous ameloblastoma. It means that it appearance is seen in outside the tooth structure. That means that it appears in the soft tissues like gingiva and mucosa, and it is seen in rare conditions. It is non-invasive. It means that it won't much extend into the adjacent tissues. And coming to the clinical features, it is seen in younger individuals, and the chances of occurrence is more in mandible when compared to the maxilla, and it appearance is seen in premolar region. In general, multicystic ameloblastoma is seen in more cases are seen in mandible, but in peripheral ameloblastoma, we are seen in premolar region. It appears as a nodule on the gingiva or mucosa. Size may vary from 3 mm to 2 cm. And coming to the treatment of the ameloblastoma, it has several options. We will go through each one. Coming to the radicals and conservative surgical excision, it means that in these we are making a large hole in the skin through which entire cyst is removed. In embolic resection, it is same as the surgical excision, but in these we are removing the healthy tissue surrounding the tumor. Along with the tumor, we are removing the healthy tissue surrounded by the tumor in order to minimize the recurrences. And coming to the segmental resection, in these we are removing the part which is affected. It means that it affected the some part of the maxilla. We are removing that part. It means that we are removing partially maxilla. It means that hemimaxillectomy, or some part of mandible. It is called as hemimandibulectomy. And coming to the curettage, in these we are removing the tissue by scraping or scooping. We will follow these in abortion conditions too. And coming to the chemical and electro cautery, in these we will destroy the tissue by chemical or electrical application. It is coming to the chemotherapy. Treatment is done by the chemical agents, and in radiation also we will treat the ameloblastoma. And the reference books are from the Schaeffer's Oral Pathology.